these are really tough times for a lot of Vermonters. And I don't know how many of you, there's a few of you out here I know who have teenagers like I have. And so because I've got teenagers, I spend a bit of my time visiting the supermarket. And just a few days ago, coming out of the supermarket, I was approached by an older man, 75 years old or so. He knew me as Secretary of State. He knew that I was running for governor. And he grabbed my arm and he said, "Deb, don't go yet. You know, I just want to tell you something. I'm retired. I'm living on a fixed income. I had savings. I had a retirement plan, but I lost half of it in the crash. And Deb, I'm scared. If gas prices, if oil prices go up again this year like they were last year, I don't know how I'm going to afford my prescription drugs. I don't know how I'm going to be able to stay in my house and pay the mortgage. And you know, though, what's really making me worried is that my son lost his job of 15 years. He's got a wife and 2 kids. And I don't know what they're going to do. We're talking about whether it makes sense for them to move in with me." Deb, he said, something has got to change. And you know what? That's why I'm running for governor. I'm running for governor because as a state, we have got to get serious about creating jobs. We do. I mean, it's Jim equals jobs, right? Did that get us far? We have to take this seriously. We have to help working families. We have to protect the things that make Vermont special. You know, our beautiful natural environment, our working landscape, our village centers, our vibrant communities, those things that make us special. And we have to stand up to the false choice we've been given by Jim Douglas and the Republicans, which is that we have a choice. We either protect our environment or we grow our economy. Well, I tell you, that is a false choice. I believe, and I believe you would agree with me, that we will succeed economically as a state precisely because we're protecting the things that make Vermont special. Now, there are a lot of people in this race. And I would say that all of my friends in this race, we share similar values. We all are going to be fighting for health care for all, making sure that we invest in renewables, making sure that we get jobs that are for the 21st century by making sure we've got the infrastructure for success, like broadband technology. But you know, to put our values and vision into action, we have to take back the governor's office. I mean, this is really practical. We have to be able to beat Brian Doobie. And we cannot take him, you know, we can chuckle, but we cannot take him for granted. I don't take him for granted. And I'm going to tell you, I believe I can win this race. And I believe I can win this race because of my record. It's a record I'm proud of. With your help, I beat a Republican incumbent when I first ran for Secretary of State 12 years ago. And I thank you for that. Actually, I see people, Louise Coates is here, she did one of my very first house parties. So I want to really thank you for launching me. We cleaned up the office. We made it easier to start businesses and grow jobs. We balanced our budget every year. I even inherited a $100,000 deficit when I first came in. And after 2000, well, you all remember Catherine Harris, right? Mm-hmm. So after 2000, I led the effort to reform our elections in Vermont. And in Vermont, you know what? Every vote counts, and every vote is counted. That's the Vermont way, right? Let me just diverge for a minute. This is actually part of why what Governor Douglas is doing now is driving me so crazy. It just makes me furious. Vermonters are sick of politics as usual in Montpelier, where there's got to be winners and there's got to be losers. And I was really shocked when Governor Douglas attacked me for wanting to move our primary up 3 weeks so that we could comply with new federal law. Don't you agree that as a state we have to do everything in our power to make sure the brave men and women who are serving us overseas get the same right to vote as you and I have? I mean, so, you know, Douglas said, oh, it's just politics. You know, this is just to help the Democrats. And then he said, and you know what, she could just get a waiver. But you know what? Let me tell you, Governor Douglas, we don't get waivers for soldiers, sailors, and Marines. We don't. We don't get waivers for the right to vote in Vermont. And you know what? This is a fight that Governor Douglas is going to lose. The winners are going to be our troops who have an ability to vote. You know, by moving up our primary 3 weeks, it means we'll have 45 days to get the ballots overseas and back in time so that our troops can vote. That's the winner. That's how we all will win. But I have to say that, you know, that's just an example, the most recent example of why things have to change in Montpelier. You know, it's important for the future of the state of Vermont that the next governor be a Democrat. And I have to say, I can't win. We can't win unless all of you get out there and do what it is that you do best, right? You go door to door, you make phone calls, you get on the internet, you write checks like tonight to candidates, to parties, and you turn out the vote. My record and your support let me win 6 statewide elections. And I don't know if you know it, but I've won every single town in this state with a Republican and a progressive opponent. I am proud of that, and I couldn't do it without you. But let me tell you the secret to my success. It's simple, actually. I show up. We talk to voters. We organize strong campaigns. We organize county by county, town by town, voter by voter. That's what my campaign will do, and that's what this party is going to do to make sure that we put the Douglas years behind us. And we have to put the Douglas years behind us if we're going to ensure a better Vermont with a plan for good paying jobs, a plan for a real energy future, not Vermont Yankee, but one based in renewable energy. And a plan for leaving this state better than we found it. It is my goal to leave a state with a pristine natural environment for my children, one where we still have village centers, one where we still have such vibrant communities. I want to thank you all for your hard work till now, getting me to where I am. I want to thank you in advance for what you're going to do to make sure Democrats get elected all up and down the ticket. And I want to quote Tip O'Neill. He always says, never take anyone's vote for granted. People like to be asked for their support. So tonight, I want to thank you for your years of friendship, and I want to ask you for your support in this election. Thank you.